What's up, beautiful people? We have a new president. A lot of things going on. We're going to get into it. Episode 2 coming at you. My2Centz. Drop the intro.
I'm good, I just be up in my thoughts saying, yeah. Don't feel sorry for me. No pity parties for me. New Benz, new Rarries for me. For the list of my regrets, no more sorries for me.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a staple, man. I'm just going to come in. Yeah. Sounding like Misfit. So here we go, episode 2. My2Centz with Cam and Kegler. We got a lot to get into. We're going to talk about. But before, let me introduce my people. Once again, the homie, the friend, a decade in. That was a 3 times boy right there. Oh, dropped it again. We got knee deep. The homie Sid.
Yo, hello.
Oh, you got your applause. Got your applause.
I hear the applause.
Got your applause. I wouldn't have given
Clap
it to you.
for.
Uh-oh.
It's about 3 songs I can do that with.
It is about 3. It is about 3. On the other end, I got the homie, the friend, over a decade in. I did it again.
You did it again.
One more time. I got the boy Misfit Chris.
What's going on? Hey, man, I appreciate you for having me back.
Having
We
him
are
back.
back.
We are back. We are back. Episode 2. No role models. My2Centz on generational curses. No role models. Shout out to Jermaine Lamar Cole.
Oh,
that's my favorite. You know I had to.
That's your goat.
Yeah, that's
better than Wayne. I appreciate that.
No, he's still not better than Wayne. We're not. But speaking of Wayne. Speaking of Wayne. We're going to get into it, get into the news. What's the 411?
Yeah, what is the 411?
What's the 411? That's the Mary J joint. But stuff going on in the news. Lil Wayne and Kodak Black got pardoned by 45 on his way out.
It's free.
Okay, all right. But how do we feel? How do we feel? More specifically, how do we feel at the fact that I feel like now his whole I'm at the White House meeting with the president and he's going to do this and this and the platinum plan was because he was trying to get up. I'm
long con. I am not mad at that man.
It's like I want to be mad. I want to be mad like, bruh, you sold out, but you sold out to stay free.
You can't be mad.
Can I be mad?
No.
I mean, if we want to try to equate that to snitching, we could. I mean, I would.
I mean, why? He ain't telling nobody.
I wouldn't say that because he protected himself.
He protected
did that
himself.
For himself, and no one else went down in the process.
Shouldn't have had the goddamn gun.
Well,
but he did.
But he did.
But he shouldn't have.
But that was years ago.
Oh, that was a sentence from how long ago?
Like 2 years.
Bless his heart.
Changed man.
Is he?
He played.
Wait.
He played the game to get his freedom back.
Well, I'm happy he did such a thing.
He did what he had to do.
I mean,
I support his moves for that. It was really good move.
I'm just excited. I'm finna get some new Wayne and new Kodak. That's really all I'm excited. And I got a new president.
We do.
In the process. So
and we have a new female.
Hey, listen here.
Woman.
I mean,
a woman.
Look, I don't know if
in
y'all
the White House.
if y'all have
not
been
on staff.
if you've been under a rock or
she's
whatever
a
the
VP.
case may be.
Yes.
Kamala D is the VP.
Yeah.
I feel like it's messed up that we celebrating her and we ain't even mention Joseph Robinette. Did y'all hear him drop his name?
They
Robinette.
His mama wrong for that.
I just knew his name was like Robert or Raymond.
Maybe they thought
so
they
it
were
was.
having a
So
girl.
they were saying Robinette.
Robinette.
I thought it was Robin N or something that they were saying.
No, Robinette.
She childish.
Yeah.
Maybe she thought he was gonna be a girl, and that was like.
But his name was Joseph.
His name is
Well, I
Joseph.
mean, we have to give
And
him
he's
a first name.
But he's a junior, so his daddy's name was Robin. So his grandma.
This goes back a long line.
Generational curse.
Generational curse.
Well, they had to do something else, man.
Yeah.
He's not gonna remember it anyway. My bad.
We definitely checked out the inauguration, and so it was really, really good to see everybody there, and really good to see a noticeable absence.
Yes.
Down in Florida doing whatever it is that he does, but yeah. So then we've been kind of checking out a lot of things in the time, and I'm not sure if y'all came across One Night in Miami, the movie.
Yes.
The Regina King joint there on Amazon.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
It really is. It
I
really
mean,
is.
have you seen it,
Have you
Chris?
seen it, Chris?
Why y'all asking me?
Because we're talking.
See, I got a story.
We're speaking.
I tried to watch it, but I fell asleep.
What if Malcolm X had a tried to do with?
Come
what
on.
What if Jim Brown had a tried?
Let's just hope they didn't fall asleep.
Man.
Because I did, but I will finish it today, tomorrow.
You're going to
by the
have
end of the
to.
week.
You're going to have to. You
I'm finished.
really have to. It's really,
That's-
really good.
It is really, really good. It was. I mean, you could kind of tell, kind of where it was going. And the part that I didn't like. When I say didn't like, it's not that I didn't like it. The part that I wish about the movie is that it was true. It was it was fictional.
But I'm okay with that.
But that was the beauty of it. It was,
Yeah,
but like if it had actually happened, it would have been. I would have been like, oh man, I wonder what that conversation was like. But the fact that it was,
I think that's probably the closest we could think. I mean, if that's how that really happened, later or
Right.
before, I think that probably did happen in some type of way.
I mean, it was certainly a dope movie. Wish Chris could give more commentary, but he like his Z's.
I'm intrigued.
So what do you want?
I'm intrigued.
Well,
I want
big
to
ups
see
to
it.
Regina King for doing it.
Right, for sure.
That's the biggest part about that. We have to celebrate the black women doing these big things. It's
Major things.
Just so
Absolutely.
awesome. But I want to know more about the guy who wrote it because it was a play from years ago.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I saw it in the
so
credits.
I'm kind of curious to know some of the other works that he has.
So we're gonna have to definitely get into some homework and figure those things out, as well as I think another homework we got to do. I haven't been able to watch it yet, but American Skin
I won't.
with my boy Nate Parker.
I'll be you next time. Not
Why
watching.
you not gonna watch it?
I had to check
For
that out.
one, so let me tell you what spoiled a lot of those movies for me. Watching Fruitville Station.
Mm-hmm.
That probably was one of the last real movies that I didn't catch. Besides, what's this last one? Just Mercy. I can't watch that stuff very long because I get real upset and I get sad.
Does it make you sad?
It makes me really sad.
I actually cried when I watched Just Mercy.
Yeah, I
I was in
can't.
the movie theater and I shed some
Yeah,
tears.
I don't like putting myself.
But I
through
like
that.
movies like
I
that.
haven't seen it.
Just
Yes.
Mercy.
You haven't seen
Your
it?
turn.
I haven't.
I mean, it's
seen
not good, but you got to see it, bro.
Don't do.
The movie's
don't,
not
don't,
good?
Don't do that to Jamie. Don't do that to Jamie.
Wait, it's not a good movie?
It's
No,
a good
great
movie.
movie.
Oh, you said it's not good.
No, I said
Oh.
it's not good that you haven't seen.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
got you.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
okay.
what I
Oh, that was
word.
a- oh, that was
it's
a
great
comma.
movie.
I mean, because
Yeah,
I was finna be like, hey, whether I seen it or not, I was finna get
Okay.
it. But no, I mean, I'll definitely have to take time to watch. I really just got to be in a
You
good
do.
mental space.
Yeah.
So I got some off time, some vacation time coming,
Nice.
and so
Hey.
that'll give me time to be away from people.
yeah,
So you don't have to
You're,
interact.
you're
That's
gonna want to be
yeah.
away from people.
Yeah.
After you see that,
And maybe that's probably why I don't like to watch stuff like that because I do go back out.
then you got to go
I
to
feel.
work and.
You gotta go. Yeah, I feel that. But so we're gonna get into what mainly brings us in today. We're talking about generational curses, right? Some of the main generational curses that you feel like, we kind of had an impact on society. I think obviously we can mention slavery.
Ah.
Obviously that was an event, but I think, the crack epidemic doesn't, is kind of forgotten in this time. Jim Crow, people seem to want us to forget like that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
That was only like 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, just kind of that's what they, and the fact that you have all those different events, your boy Jay
Absolutely.
said, transgenerational trauma that should have haunted you. That was, what was that, Spiritual?
Yeah.
Spiritual.
Yeah.
That was the track he dropped after Alton Sterling and Castile passed.
Oh, okay.
That was a song that Jay dropped. So, but yeah, I mean, just those kind of things. So I mean, first off, when we talk about generational curses, how are they created? Like how do you think a generational curse, Sydney, is created?
I'm gonna have to think about that. Can we pass?
Chris, you gonna let her think?
So let me think.
Since you ain't watched the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to answer the question first since I didn't watch the movie. But I think that they're created by just like a lack of communication and a lack of education also.
I got you.
Do I need to elaborate more? Or
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so what I mean by that is basically like the past generation doesn't communicate with the present generation about things that have happened that may have resulted in them being generationally cursed. So because of that, the cycle just continues instead of actually breaking it up.
I think one of the things before I come back to you said, I think one of the main things is that you talk about the communication. I think a lot of times when you deal with generational curses, the past generation is stuck on, well, I did the best I could. And it's just like, okay, well, look, now I'm telling you the results of it. So I need, like, you are needed in helping fix it, you know, in helping to kind of, you know, change those things. You know, some of the generation curse that I kind of think about first come to mind is like, you know, that old school mentality when it comes to like their ideals on marriage or relationships or parenting or just their ideas on business, you know, just ideas in general, just that old school, you know, kind of mentality. And so we kind of, you know, have those different aspects.
Yeah.
I mean, all of us grew up completely different. Different environments. You know, Chris, you know, single parent. You know, you grew up in the city. You know, said you.
Good old Beaumont.
Beaumont.
Two parents in the house, just 20 years apart.
But a big age, age gap.
I still don't understand how that happened.
Wow.
I mean,
I ask every year. I ask
so
them.
when a man loves a woman.
Oh, stop it.
Okay.
But age ain't nothing but a
age
number.
ain't nothing but a number.
I'm not doing this with you because it is for someone.
Is it kind of ironic that we just named them two songs and those two people?
That's why I said it is for someone.
Let's keep on.
Let's keep going.
Let's keep on
We
going.
can't even do that anymore. My bad. I'm sorry.
I have nothing else to say.
Thank you for checking. I'm sorry.
But you had two parents in the household.
Yeah.
You know, big age gap between them in Beaumont. You know,
and something to add to that. My mother is Baptist and my father's Catholic.
Oh, wow.
Calm down. Let's relax. Let's just relax.
I never knew that. I don't think I ever knew that.
I try to keep that, you know.
I got you.
It was rough up until I had my own understanding, and now that I have mine, I'd be like,
shoot, young. Yeah. And me growing up with two parents in the household, I had siblings. So, you know, you two not having siblings is, you know, that's part of who you are as well. And then on top of that, I grew up in country ass, racist ass Lufkin, Texas. And I say all the time when I talk to people, y'all, East Texas white people are different. Yeah. They're different. They're really different.
They are.
And it's not until, I mean, the fact that Donald Trump tweeted about my hometown and said how great of a town it was.
Oh, that was terrible.
That tells me all I need to know.
That tells you all you need to know about.
Don't go there.
You know, I mean, it's not that bad, but
say what now?
It's bad.
Man, please. Next to Beaumont, it is definitely bad because Vida is next to Beaumont.
It ain't. We ain't talking Vida. We not that.
He don't want to be associated with that.
Let's not.
Oh, okay.
No.
But y'all close to Jasper too.
But we ain't.
I'm just saying. Let's be clear.
Okay. All right.
Let's be clear.
But you know, just really that old school mentality that kind of comes from different aspects of our growing up. We talk about the crab mentality. We talk about Chris, this is something you talk about all the time. The rape culture is, you know, it was really something that I mean, that didn't start generationally. You know what I'm saying? So didn't start this generation. Right. You know, but you know, we have a variety of different aspects that kind of touch on us. So I mean, what kind of aspects, what generational curses, nonetheless, kind of personally, have you kind of had experience with, say, when you think about the ones that like personally haunt you?
I think striving for something or striving to be the best, I really don't know, because that's a part of that stuff that we just kind of mentioned where we don't talk and ask anything. Right. So then when you start asking questions, you feel like you're offending your parents and you're getting too into their business, and then you get that conversation. Well, I did what I was supposed to do. What?
That in itself is a generational curse. The
fact
that
I don't really know
if
how
I don't agree with you, I'm being disrespectful.
Yeah.
You know, or I think the fact that we're raised and it's it's well, why am I doing this? Because I said so.
Yeah.
Well, I don't ever really learn
why
I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I'm just
doing it. I'm just
you know,
functioning.
yeah. I mean, example. You know, my dad loves when I tell this story. Shout out to Pops.
Hey, Pop Keg.
Yeah, you know, but he
Pop Keg watching too.
He is. He definitely is.
Shout out.
So I'm
You-
talking to you. All right. But no, he loves when I tell the story because it was one day I was probably 15, 16. I was working, had a job, making my own money. It wasn't much because minimum wage was $5.50. I was bagging groceries, and I quit when they told me to clean the bathroom. But anyway, back to the topic. Shout out to Cole. Back to the topic. But I wanted a Bluetooth. You remember how we used to wear the big Bluetooth on the ear?
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's back then.
Okay.
Pre AirPod.
Yeah, this is pre. Before headphones was even a thing.
Yeah.
Headphones on your phone was even a thing. We were still walking around with Walkman and CD players. But I think iPods may have first came out then. But
Shuffle.
yeah, that was 07. Yeah.
The shuffle.
Oh no, I
think
take it
was
back. I
out
was
there.
15, so it was early than that.
Bluetooth
But
headset and a phone clip.
yeah,
right there.
just thought you was stuff. But I wanted a Bluetooth. You dead?
Showing your age.
Right?
Showing your age.
But I wanted a Bluetooth. I wanted a Bluetooth because I would be playing my PS2 probably.
Oh yeah.
I would be playing my game and I would be on the phone or I had a headset for it. That's back when you was
You needed
somebody
to.
if you had your own phone line in your room.
Oh yeah.
So I had that, but then also I said so I just wanted a Bluetooth. We didn't have Bluetooth in vehicles, so if I'm driving, boop boop,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I went and bought a Bluetooth. It was like at that time I think it was like $50. I went and bought a Bluetooth. I came in the house and my daddy calls me in the room and I'm like, "What's up, man?" And he was just like, "You getting too grown." I was like, "What'd I do?" he was like, "You didn't ask nobody you could have that thing on your ear." And I'm like,
And you know what that probably was in reference to? Too much privacy.
but do you know what it
Oh my
do you know what it was in
gosh.
reference to?
No, what? That's what I would have thought.
He didn't know.
That you purchased it?
No, he didn't know why he was upset.
Oh, he didn't even see that.
He had no, and it was just the fact when I asked him about it years later. This is why he likes me to tell the story. When I asked him about it years later, like, bro, why was you upset? Because at the moment, I would never ask that.
Of
I would
course
never
not.
ask that in the moment.
You better not.
Right? Exactly.
You better not.
So I asked him, he was just like, he said something or another, but then he calls me like 2 weeks later. And he's just like, "You really put that on?" I have no idea. And he was like, "When I was coming up, you had to ask for things like that." And I was like, "Negro, when you was coming up, y'all
Didn't
use
have
smoke
to.
signals."
You ain't lying.
Like,
You had to send a telegram.
right? You had
Morse
to,
code and stuff.
had to call
Come
a
on, man.
pigeon. You know what I'm saying? Had to call Mike Tyson. Hey, man, let me borrow a pigeon.
Yeah.
You
Gotta
had to
send
do. But so it was just like, but he had no idea, and it was just kind of like those type of things that even opened his mind to like, bro, we was why?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why do we do those side of things? I think, but mainly because I said so. If you disagree with me, you're being disrespectful. I think those things, especially when you say because I said so, I never learned why. I never learned the process behind things, or when we talk about, we talk about the what was the other thing I just said?
Man,
That right there.
yeah.
But when we talk about those things, and we never learn the different aspects behind them, and
Oh,
so as you grow up, like how do those type things like have an effect on you?
As far as like talking, like not knowing the reasoning of
Right.
why you're told to do certain
Right.
things, they have a big effect because once you get older, you decide that you want to start figuring things out for yourself. And if you aren't, like, we were lucky because we were able to get surrounded by good people, most likely in the situations that we went into after we got out of our parents' homes.
Right.
But some aren't so fortunate and they have to figure things out on their own and they have to figure out their own whys. And that can greatly affect people in early adulthood all the way through late adulthood because of the way that you started, not being able to question anything, and then you have to figure out things on your own with no direction.
Very much so.
And you're fearful of going back home to ask questions because you were never allowed to do that in the first place. So
Yeah. I think I can agree with that because I know I've had moments where I've been like, well, why didn't you tell me this? What
Yeah.
is it? How was I supposed to do that? Then what I really get in trouble is when I be like, Mom, I don't want to hear the Jesus part of how you handled that. I want to know how your earthly self handled that. Shout out to my cool mother. I'm not trying to throw you out there like that, but I always say that. I even do that to my god sister sometimes. I'm like, hey, I know you finna tell me Jesus did this, Jesus did that. I respect that. But what did you do in that earthly situation?
Right.
Because there's no parable for that.
Right.
You know,
right,
in the
right.
Bible, I need you to tell me exactly what you did. So I think we should make sure that we're as honest as possible, because I think that was something I lacked as an only child, where I wasn't really told. I was always told, oh, you can go out, you can do the whole thing, the world is yours, that type of stuff.
Houseway.
But I didn't know how.
You didn't know how.
I didn't know how for sure. And then you scared to ask questions, and then there's other people that are just kind of like.
And I think a lot of that is that they had to figure it out, so they telling you go figure it out. And it's like, you know, it turns into, well, you know, I did the best I could. I did, you know, that's what I knew. You know, that's the way it's always been. And, you know, that's why we go into, you know, some people don't have a good idea of what a relationship is, of what a marriage is.
Right.
I think in my relationship now, shout out to Ashley.
Oh.
Hey, Ashley.
You know.
Hey, Ashley.
You know, I gotta make sure I say that. I roll. I'm joking. I'm playing. But no, shout out to Ashley for sure. But in my relationship now, it was times where I had to look, and my idea of what a relationship was, or what a adult relationship was, came from my parents, right? And we all are kind of trained in that aspect to look to the relationships that we have around us. But the reality is, I mean, that's just one relationship. You know what I mean? We can't. And then on her side, her ideas of what a relationship is completely different.
Right.
You know, from what she's seen. So I'm over here like, this the way it was for me. And she was like, well, nah, I ain't never experienced nothing like that.
Yeah.
So, you know, being able to then have those conversations that it's not very traditional. You know what I mean? You got to figure out what works for you and things of that sort. But I think for that, the reason is why, you know, 42% of black people get divorced. You know, because they have those different ideas. Nobody communicates. You know, it's kind of built from, you know, like a different perspective. So, you know, I think that itself is also something that we can consider a generational curse, because, you know, that starts to form.
It definitely.
You know, Chris, you're, you know, like a product of divorce. That's not something that was kind of, you know, so like when you think about, you know, I think we've had conversations before about the effects that had on you, and, you know, how you attribute that to, you know, both parents weren't in the house. And it's, you know, so, I mean, just kind of some of the things that you think about when you talk about things that affected you because, you know, being a product of, I think divorce.
Some of the things that affected me, like, you learned at a very early age, and I don't think this is necessarily a good thing, but I had to forcibly learn this skill. You learn how to function in chaos. So because of like living through a divorce, my parents got divorced when I was 12, so you see it all, and you get used to just being in chaotic situations. So as you go through life and your future relationships and your future dealings with people, if a situation is, I know you hate this word, toxic. We use a different word, but I just want to say that, unhealthy. No. If a situation is unhealthy, if it's chaotic, you seemingly feel like that's okay. You know how to function. It's normalized for you because of the fact that you saw chaos at an early age, and after that chaos, what happens? All right, daddy gone, you the man of the house now. You know what I'm saying? Grow up, handle all my business, do all of this, and it sticks with you a lot.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine. But I often wonder if that's how my dad's kids, my brothers, you know, I have 2 brothers and a sister. No, 3 brothers and a sister. So my dad was divorced before he married my mom.
Right.
So I wonder if that type of thing affected my older brother and stuff like that, and how that makes them feel now as adults. And I've never talked to them about that stuff because, you know, as far as I knew, my cousins were like on my mom's side anyway, you know. And even on my dad's side, the younger cousins I had, they were like my siblings because I didn't get to see them. They were adults by the time, you know, I was able to really do stuff. They would come by. It's not like they never came by. Like, they would come by to see their dad. I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus or back over you, but we're having a conversation. If I'm not about to be, you know.
Unapologetic, unsolicited, unfiltered. This is my 2 cents.
If I can't do that, then.
Right.
Who am I?
But I think we could definitely go on. I actually think this comes from this. We'll head into a whole nother episode. But I do want to talk more about the crap mentality, because I think that is one that drastically affects us everywhere in our jobs and just in every aspect, to where there can only be one. And that's something that kind of resonated with me, especially coming from Lufkin, where there was only going to be one, maybe 1.5 black guys on the baseball team. It wasn't gonna be nothing else. That's all that was. That's all that was gonna be.
They capture.
And this is, I mean, as we get into the high school years, and then so if you played baseball all the way coming up, you kind of knew who the one was gonna be, and you're just like, I bet I'm gonna find another sport.
Man, that sucks though.
That's tough.
I mean,
no.
And so it's. I mean, you have, or that there was. It's just different aspects of there being only in a job. When I'm working in a place, and it's for the most part, I'm normally the only black guy.
Yeah.
And then if there's another black person that works there, it's going to be a woman, and then you'll see they'll start to like pit us against each other.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, if we're not smart and we don't kind of overcome that, then ultimately you kind of you fall victim to it. But you and I, how we met at work.
Well, we met on an accident when you were at another job.
Right.
I was talking crap or something on the phone, but we're not going to go into that.
But mainly when we actually worked together, we saw firsthand how one will pull another one down. But it just wasn't one.
This is interesting.
This person was pulling everything down. I got like 3 interviews that was sabotaged, and I'm mad to this day.
Are you triggered?
To this day.
Oh, he is still mad.
To this day.
It's rough.
To this day.
That was a really rough time for you. Well, not for you in that per se, but that really bothered you at the time is what I'm saying.
It still does. I mean, it bothers me in a different aspect now, because I felt it was a lack of communication, because you would say, hey, you're not ready.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, tell me how I'm not ready. Now, it took me leaving and actually getting the job elsewhere, getting that promotion elsewhere. And I start to see myself in my employees. And I was like, I wasn't ready.
Nah.
But I never tell her that. So
right.
I think you were. I just think that it was what you said. I just think she just didn't want to.
Didn't.
Or she didn't trust you. Maybe it was she didn't trust you in that aspect. I don't think that you weren't ready. I mean, that's what you're studying.
I mean, I was going to like other stores. Like she came back early from vacation to sabotage me.
Just to say no?
Yeah. Like, it's crazy. So
that's personal.
But I mean,
that's what I was thinking. I was like, it had to be something.
It had to be something. But I mean, nonetheless, it's kind of like that when we talk about being for the uplifting of black people, and you want to help as many people get on. But some people don't view it that way. Some people view it as, when you get on, you're going to affect my position. And that is something that it then teaches us to dog eat dog world. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get you before you get me. And then you even do that in relationships. Like that goes back into a relationship to where I gotta make sure I protect me. So it's when it comes to feelings, it's either yours or mine, and it ain't gonna be me.
We really have to start defining the difference between unhealthy and just literally trying to be happy, or this toxic thing versus just trying to be happy. Like you can't call it one or I don't know.
Well, see, but I'm not gonna. The reality is sometimes when we in generational curses, sometimes in generational curses, I think people fall back on, well, this is the way I am.
Definitely, because I have a big problem with this is the way that I am. Don't you ever just tell me this is the way you are. No,
it's so easy to say that.
Do you not want to grow?
Do you not want to grow? Do you not want to change? Do you not want to elevate? Like it's never too old to learn.
We fall into that because just the way that we are, sometimes like we were forced to just be that way because that was what would get you through.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so when we get critiqued for being just the way we are, well, just the way I was got me this far. So what's wrong with that?
I mean, I feel like it's that perspective is why it's so damaging.
Right,
because
right.
you know, it got me this far. Well, you know, racism got
us this far too.
got us this far. Do we not want to change it? You know,
Yeah.
you know, all those different aspects. You know, we've had, you know, even we talk a lot about the NFL, like in the Rooney Rule, how, you know, they now have to hire, you have to interview one, they want two minorities for a job before, you know, but it's such a joke because they like
know.
You know, they literally
Pick the worst candidate they could find.
y'all know I'm a
Just
Cowboy
to do
fan.
I'm
a Cowboy fan. Yeah, we're Cowboy fan.
Cowboy
Chris
fans.
is a trash Eagles fan, but shout out to that boy Jalen Hurts. You
Yeah.
know, Houston kid. But we talk about the Rudy Rule, and the Cowboys had a position open for a defense coordinator, right? Clearly, they knew who they wanted, but they interviewed a black guy for the defense coordinator position. Obviously, didn't give him the job, but gave him a lesser job. They used his interview for the defensive coordinator position
To
as
give
his
him
interview for the other position.
First of all,
So, you know, we already know how them Joneses operate.
yeah.
But I'm not saying that they're racist because I don't want my small little podcast to be done before it gets started.
Hey.
But
Hey.
notice I'm not apologizing.
No, and you should because
for
we all say that.
But no, I mean, so it's like those type of things. It's like they put things, you know, we have things that are put in place, but clearly, you know, then we're forced to look out for each other, you know.
Yeah.
Marvin Lewis, anytime Hugh Jackson would lose a job, Marvin Lewis is going to make sure I'm going to go get my guy.
Yeah.
You know, he's going to always have a job. But then when Marvin Lewis lost his job, they had to go with Uncle Herm at Arizona. Like, so it's like, you know, you have to be able to, we're trying to take care of each other, but, you know, we got to have somebody.
Do something.
Somebody got to be on the inside.
So,
you know.
so while we're talking about that, do you guys recall the conversation that the big to-do thing that went between, what's his name, Steve Harvey and Monique when he had that conversation with her about, when I got the money, I can't take care of you without pulling somebody else up. She was very upset about it. They were using the crab in the bucket mentality as to say my integrity is supposed to come first. I wish I could. We might need to talk about this another time, but I can't really remember it per se and verbatim. But they had a deep conversation. It was like a real conversation, a big debate about how people called, you know, Steve Acela. It was with the big Netflix thing she did, where she was upset because they didn't give her the job and all that stuff. Yeah. And when she had the interview with Steve Harvey, y'all didn't see that? Okay, I'm done.
I didn't. I'm gonna check that out.
It's cool. Like,
because I was thinking about it in the crab mentality thing, is because like he's like, well, shoot, you know, I can't help him. Just like, you know, we talk about.
If I help you, I gotta help everybody.
Yeah, or at least, you know, if I don't have a job, I can't help you. Basically, what you said. Right. And she was like, but why should I worry about that when they're treating me wrong? Like, we understand that, but.
I mean,
what happens? You know, she was poor for a couple of days. But
I mean, it kind of goes back to last week when we talked about, you know, making a bad business decision because we cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, I cannot expect you to take a poor deal because, you know, it may open it up for somebody else. I actually, in the Monique situation, I was in full support of her because she was not thinking about hers. Maybe she didn't deserve the money, but somebody gonna come along deserving of the money.
Yeah.
And because she has the resume, they're gonna say it's kind of how the Patriots would do with Tom Brady. You know, you can't come ask for big money because Tom didn't ask for this. So, you know, it's the same.
Well, man, I always got to bring it back to a damn sport. You can't. You can't. I'm just playing, guys.
Sub, please. Let's get her out of here.
The easiest way to understand.
I got it. Luckily,
music.
I do understand. I just wasn't expecting you to go there.
I'm sorry.
But I'm good.
But no, I mean, it's kind of that aspect. You know, you have to figure out. You know, people have to choose when to take a stand. You know, and you know, and it's rough because nobody's ever gonna fully agree with you. I mean, I feel like I'll get another example of the crabs mentality is even when we think about our leaders and we think about how Martin had a following and Malcolm had a following and they really weren't on the same page. So instead of just saying, you know, people would actually, pull the other one down. Not those two would pull each other down, but their followings would
Not
pull
pick a
each
side.
other down. They would pick a side
Right.
instead of just saying
Yeah, don't Michael and Prince me and Ye?
Huh?
Don't Michael and Prince me and
don't
Ye?
exactly.
They'll put
Right.
you against your
Yeah.
mother when you have Michael and Prince's
There
DNA.
you go.
Yeah.
Who said that?
You know who said
I know.
that.
I just want you to say.
Oh,
Shout out to Jay for that one. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of you look at it and they will literally figure out the way to isolate.
yeah.
And talking about how generation curses affects us and crap mentality, but then also how even isolating of the black family. Like we talk about that all the time, to where in order to get all these services, WIC, women, infants, and children, they don't say nothing about a man, right?
all.
You know what I'm saying? In order to get certain subsidies and things of that sort, it has to be absent of. I mean, you can't have a family. You can't.
Right.
The family can't get
But
benefits.
I know of some men that have applied for that and have received it without the mother, or on the not on the mother's behalf. From what I've heard, I've been told. I went and got this too. Like
Really?
I
That's
just think
interesting.
that it's I don't think it truly affects just us, or we need to kind of stand on the fact that they originally put that in place for somebody else.
You're right.
During a certain time frame, which I'm not completely sure as history says, but I believe that it wasn't initially supposed to happen to us, but by the time we got to the crack epidemic, it worked out for us.
It worked out.
It
Yeah.
worked out for us to take that hit, and then hey,
I mean,
y'all got to deal with that.
I mean,
That's
definitely.
deal with that.
I mean, but that's kind of the aspect, because there are a lot of different. We talk about the views and ideals on relationships and marriage, and I think a lot of people feel like the man is the provider and the man pays the bills and things like that, and a lot of people are raised that way.
He is.
I don't subscribe to that. I don't subscribe to that for the simple fact. I don't subscribe to that for the simple fact of you gonna take on all the responsibility, right? I'm paying everything. If I'm paying everything, that means we're only living under my means,
Right.
right?
In today's America.
In today's America,
Okay.
you how are we supposed? Essentially, when two come as one,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And we move forward as one, we're more powerful, right?
Absolutely.
But if financially we're only leaning on one,
Who says that that's really the case, though?
but I'm talking about in those specific cases,
In
when you
those
talk
cases.
about how the man pays all the bills, and he pays he takes care of all those things. A lot of people,
Right.
a lot of men truly believe that.
Oh,
And-
when in doubt,
and-
especially if they were born like 73 and
Yeah, and
all
so
the way back.
so I'm just gonna take care of everything, and my wife doesn't have to work, and
Right.
I mean that to me is part of that old school mentality to an extent. So you spend all your time, working, so all your time away from the family and not with your family. So that I mean it's
so that adds to it.
that adds to it as well. So I mean, I don't want to get into that aspect of it, but definitely with a lot of different aspects, and we obviously can't talk about them all, and we can't address them all. We definitely want to start a conversation around it, and then we also got to get to the rape culture. I think before we get into the rape culture, I actually want to say I apologize. Let me look at the camera. I apologize for every ass I've ever grabbed.
Come on, bro.
No, I mean, because if you go back to middle school,
But I'm glad you are apologizing for
but
that.
you go back to middle school and under we're raised that way, and I'm not even saying like your parents raised you that way. I'm just
No.
saying you are conditioned, girls.
Yeah.
You are supposed to be exclusive, and you're supposed to be like this little flower who's delicate, and don't chase
that's what
after
they
the boy.
teach us.
Don't chase after that boy.
Yeah.
Don't chase after him. Date one person, cover
Yeah.
your body.
Yeah.
Here's what you do to get the guy.
Right.
But on the flip side, we telling this guy, hey, get all the girls. That's the cool thing to
Absolutely.
do.
Absolutely.
Lack emotional responsibility. It was Big Sean.
This guy.
Leave the females in my cover and all my feelings in the rubber. Ain't that what he said? Something like that?
Oh my
It-
God.
That's
It was Drake that said, "All my young boys around me, get this money, fuck these hoes." Where we learn these values?
Where
I
do
do
we
not
learn
know what to
this?
tell you.
I have no idea.
And that's literally how we were raised. Like, just like he's saying, I raised my daughter like, hey, be respectful, be respectable, respect yourself, respect your body, this, that, and the other. but I don't have a son. But our sons are raised to do the exact opposite.
Absolutely.
Conquer, and whatever you destroy in the process, it is what it is.
Yeah, I think.
And that creates an extreme
sorry.
disconnect for everything that has to do with men and women going forward.
Oh, it definitely does.
Because we don't start on the same page.
So back to, not to go back to what you said, but just like when you were saying how men are supposed to be, the providers and all this type of stuff, I think that's exactly what the girls do. They teach us that's the man you want, the one that's supposed to take care of you. You're
Right.
supposed to do that. You're supposed to go for that guy that's willing to go to work from sun up to sundown to make sure that you can do this. And I'm like, okay.
And the interesting
But
aspect.
he don't know nothing about me.
But the interesting, what's interesting is
He don't know my favorite color, Mom.
they want you to do all this, right?
Green.
They want you to do all this, and at the same time,
Yeah.
he's going to do all this providing, but at the same time, once they've been through a trauma, it goes into protect yourself. You got to have something off to the side.
Yeah.
You have to have a nest egg because he can up and leave you at any time
Oh,
and you ain't
yeah.
got nothing. And so then that creates a different level of aspect in the relationship. But not only that, it just creates a discourse, in general. So then those traumas, because we've raised the boys to treat women like they ain't worth nothing, then those women, after being burned, turn scarred.
Absolutely.
And then they teach the next generation,
The exact same thing.
oh,
We definitely could do that.
what was that? It was the Wale track, Diary, where he talks about that entire situation.
I do think I recall that
That was
one.
the only one that was on attention deficit. But one of the, just talking about, how, all your friends are telling you, because our men ain't shit. Your man,
He ain't finna be shit either.
But
You're
it's-
absolutely correct.
But it's like all those different type situations, but they come from trauma. They come from this rape culture. We had a whole president who just grabbing
people by the PY.
So,
Do it.
like everybody just seems to think that's cool. We have, all these celebs, these athletes who, grabbing people and pulling their clothes off and just all kinds of random stuff, because that's the rape culture. That's the culture that has been created. And so in order to overcome that, then women have become empowered and starting to be super independent. And I want to be clear. I'm not saying this as a negative thing at all. I'm actually saying, that's why we need new values, new ideals. We can't go back to old school mentality because nobody is the same, and we're not living in that same type world.
We have to be honest and not look at somebody wanting to change their perspective as it being toxic. Y'all gotta just let people say what they say.
That is
you gotta let people say what they have to say.
That is hard on your spirit. That is really
That is
heavy.
really hard on me because, first of all, I just went through some BS. So that's part of the reason. Yeah. So that's part of the reason why I'm just kind of like, nah, let's relax. Let's take a step back. We really need to just start understanding the type of traumas that people have and accepting those. And then if you have them, don't make me your savior for it either.
Right.
Don't make me the savior to fix what the hell is wrong with you.
I mean,
I got your back.
I'm really glad you said this.
But I'm not your savior.
I'm really glad you said this.
Back to episode 1. You don't belong under my umbrella.
Quality. But when we talk about, like you said, don't make me your savior. Make me your savior. But that is also why mental health is so important.
Oh, yeah.
And that is, but it's like taboo in the black community. It's so taboo. Like, oh, ain't nothing wrong with you. Well, no, I'm messed up.
Yeah,
like,
something is wrong.
True story. So talking about mental health. I actually started going to therapy like in 2019, mid 2019, right?
Congratulations.
Shout out to therapy. Yep.
Yeah, for real. It really helps. But my dad, when he found out, he calls me. He's like, my dad's Nigerian, so he's like, son.
Do it again.
Son, what is this? You are talking to a therapist. You are weak. We don't need this. And it's just like, all right. It really ticked me off because I felt like it was helping, but it further goes into the fact that like we don't condone therapy in our own community. You know what I'm saying?
At all.
And no matter where you are.
If as
where
a man,
from?
if we go, it's like you're weak. Why can't you handle this yourself? Why? Because we like live by these old attitudes of like, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna be okay.
Yep.
I got it.
And
It
then we
is
all
what it
become funny.
is. And we just accept whatever it comes. Like, no, you can go
Yeah.
do things to work on your
And
mental
find the
health to improve
tools
yourself.
to
You know?
to do it. I mean, I think that's really. I think when we talk about mental health, a lot of people hide traumas, right?
Right.
Oh,
and
indeed.
for generations, you hide trauma, and you never deal with it because the people you look to, your parents, never dealt
Talk
with it.
about
If I mean, when we talk about like, I would really want to see statistics on people who say they've been like molested.
We really need to revisit
Right?
this.
Yes, I mean this. Just for the record, I feel like everything we've talked about is a whole episode of its own, and it might just be.
Yeah.
But I mean, we kind of talk about the mental health. How many people who've been, molested. Then on top of that, how many people have children who are then molested?
Yeah.
Right. And so because you never dealt with your trauma, you now when your child goes through it, you do the same thing your parents did.
That's all you know.
That's
Sweep
all
it
you
under
know.
the
So
rug.
they sweep it on the road. Hey, if we don't talk about it, it never happened. Don't tell nobody else that. And then when you have
Big on that.
when your child comes about and they look to you, you didn't deal with the trauma, so you don't even know how to
Yeah.
help them deal with trauma. And you tell them, "Oh, well, just get over it. You got to deal with that
Deal with
because
it.
you
I
were
had
forced to."
Deal
No,
with it.
Yeah.
I had
well,
to.
because-
I'm not gonna do that.
but Hove line,
Come on, give it to me.
Hove line.
Give it to me.
Jay did that, so
So Hove-
hopefully
You don't have
You
to
don't have to
go
go
through
you ain't
that.
got to go through that, and that's
Yeah.
the mentality you have to have. I experienced it. It was shit.
Right.
It was so damaging to me.
yeah.
But I owe it to you
To tell
to
you, you don't
figure
have
out.
to do that.
We gonna figure out because I haven't dealt with my trauma. Same thing is happening to you. We have to figure, but that's easier said than done. That's why mental health is so important because or people are scared to uncover what could potentially come
Come out of it.
in
Yeah,
therapy,
yeah,
or
yeah.
people are embarrassed because it's been giving such a taboo. We talk about it's so many things, old school mentality that relate, and it
yeah.
has a negative taboo now.
Right.
Like people still can't deal with the fact that you go to therapy or that being bipolar is a thing.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
We
people.
just say you crazy.
Yeah.
Man, you crazy as hell.
Oh, he
Around
touched.
you.
He touched. No,
He a
man.
little special.
Poor
You know?
baby. Poor
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah.
Like we don't deal with these things, and so it's really big, man. I mean, we can go on and on. I definitely want to, but before we go, we have to talk about how do we break these things. I mean, that's definitely not a quick answer.
No, not at all.
But I think you mentioned earlier it starts with conversation. It starts with you mentioned it, telling the truth, being honest
You have to
about the
at some point.
situation. And I
Yeah.
think big for me is not being defensive. And that's hard. But having a conversation with your parents and say, "Hey, I'm not saying you did wrong. You did the best that you could. But what
Yeah.
I am saying is that your best was not good enough, and I would like you to continue parenting me
Yes.
to help me recover from this."
Yeah.
And it's it's definitely a big deal for people to start having conversations, tough conversations, being honest with your people, acknowledging that these things happen.
Yeah.
Yes, this happened to you. Even you don't even have to have an apology. Like
Yeah.
you gotta address it.
Right.
Being open to it.
But I mean, we'll definitely continue the conversation. We definitely want to go. We'll probably get into the conversation on all of our social medias. We have those. We'll kind of get into that, but the conversation will definitely continue, and we'll definitely have to bring these other conversations back.
Yeah, we get
But-
real knee deep and stuff like that.
Knee deep.
We get knee deep
She
into that.
dropped.
Oh, cheap
dropped.
plug. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
I like it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I know.
I like it.
You know what? Let's go old school with it. You're something like a hater.
I am very much something like a hater. Let's be clear.
But no, I mean, I think it's really important that we continue these conversations because there's so many people out here who are dealing with this stuff, and they're unable to. They don't have the tools. They don't have the tools to deal with them. We're all waiting on the next generation,
To fix it,
or things of that sort. So, but before we end, I definitely have to give 2 pennies for thought. The last 2 cents of the day. Because it's a lot. It's a lot that kind of goes into it that we want to talk about. Like generation curses are real. We shouldn't view them as excuses or failures or for stagnant, progression. Because just like racism, the shit is systemic. I mean, it goes back. So many of these curses were birthed during slavery, birthed during times that we, kind of unavailable for. But we can't confuse generational curses with poor generational choices. I think that is something that I kind of had to go through and realize you can't, because this generation made piss poor choices, we can't say, oh, this is a generational curse. No, you got to keep teaching these poor choices for the go as a curse. And some generation has to come on and say enough is enough. I think our generation, we are the generation who has respect for the past and tradition and the old school way of thinking, but we also have that rebellious spirit of the youth to say, yeah, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. Let's figure out something that works. And the real curse is kind of believing that you can't change those generational patterns. So, I mean, we have to start the conversations. We have to start helping each other have those conversations. I think that's why I'm really grateful for group chats and friends and things of that sort, because, just unjudged, you just say what you got to say and people are going to tell you how they feel about it. I mean, you gather, a lot from it. So there's a song that comes to mind. I can't remember the name of the song, but it was Inauguration. That says, they say every generation gets worse. They call it a generational curse. But these problems don't just drop out of the sky, but listen to the hot nigga on these words and be the change you want to see in the world. So, I mean, I just want to leave that with everyone. What you got to say, Sid?
Nothing. I like that, Cam.
She called me Cam.
That was deep.
That was real deep.
That was deep.
I appreciated that, man.
I mean, I be trying. I mean, I be reading.
Pastor
And
Cam.
I be reading. And listen, I'm going to tell you what's going to be said about this episode. My dad is going to say that he told me that.
Did he?
So, probably not. But hey, I'm going to give him credit. I'm going to definitely give him credit for that. But just kind of, we got to wrap. But as we always end, we got to give 2 songs to the playlist. Just for the record, the playlist, My2Centz, the playlist volume 1, Apple Music and Spotify.
Yeah.
Gotta jam that. We're gonna add new songs every week. What's that? It'll be like 6-7 songs added a week.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Because we got the songs that go in the episode.
Oh yeah.
We got 2 from each. And so I mean, I was actually jamming on the ride over, and I was like, y'all did pretty well.
So far, so good.
That. So far, so good.
Okay.
Then they started playing, and I came across one of the Misfit tracks, and I was just like, I thought I was on the wrong playlist. But had to get him. But Sid, this week, I'm gonna start calling you Sid. Nie.
Thank you.
This week,
I appreciate that.
This week, what you going to?
I am gonna, of course, drop me a Jay-Z Blue from the Magna Carta album.
Okay.
That's one of my records. And
it's gonna always be a Jay.
It's
song.
probably gonna always be a Jay song, unless I surprise y'all. I may not have one.
Look, I'm gonna have to start
vetoing.
vetoing. I'm gonna veto some of these. I'm gonna have to veto because the whole playlist is gonna be just Hov.
It won't be. I'll find
And
some.
there's
Okay.
nothing wrong with that. To be perfectly honest.
Thank you. I think it's okay that people. I have to show my age.
Okay. All right.
And by
Jay-Z
showing
Blue.
my age, my next song is Skin I'm In Cameo. So there we are.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Definitely shows your age.
I learned who Cameo was tonight because I did not know.
I wasn't gonna bring that up.
I wasn't gonna tell the people.
I want you to hit the voice one time. You learned the Cameo saying Candy.
Strawberry, raspberry, all different kinds.
My boy say he got it.
I've always loved that
That's
song,
crazy.
and I finally found out who sang it. So
Yeah.
That's
I
good
mean,
stuff.
okay. All right. Misfit Chris, where you going this week?
I'm gonna go with "If I Ruled the World" by Nas for one of my tracks because I think it fits this theme perfectly. Because if I ruled the world, then we break all these generational curses.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with a song that speaks perfectly to generational curses, which is "All Falls Down" by Kanye West.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That may be one. You know what? Speaking of All Falls Down, I'm so glad
What?
they got Lauryn Hill up off the original version.
You think?
Because Selena Johnson did an amazing job.
She really
She
did.
did.
She did.
And,
She
and
did.
Lauren can't sing. Anyway.
Oh my God.
She can't sing like that.
Oh,
My bad.
oh my
I had to finish the statement. My bad.
You know what
my
I hate about
God.
that song though? Because came out when I was in like early high school, late middle school, and I was in love with Stacey Dash. And then, come to find out later in life,
Stacey Dash
she's
ain't
not
shit.
for the people at all.
She's not for the people.
Stacey
And
Dash ain't
that hurt my soul because that was.
I hear you.
Well, we should have known when she was in Clueless.
Wrap it up.
All right, so I'm gonna go.
This guy.
I'm gonna go this week. I'm gonna go with a couple of tracks. I'm gonna go with "The Overcomer" by Royce the 5'9". He actually has a verse in there where he talks about the birthright of Christ breaking every generational curse in life.
Nice.
If y'all don't jam Royce, y'all gotta jam Royce.
No, Royce is one of the greatest lyrics.
Yeah.
He is. I love Royce. And then I'm gonna go with "Weight in Gold" by Gallant.
Nice.
That's one of he's actually one of my favorite artists currently.
Really?
If you haven't heard his Tiny Desk, oh, you absolutely.
No.
Oh my gosh, he's probably one of the best Tiny Desks.
Okay.
Because he can. I mean, he be broken below. And I don't mean like
I'm not
no.
even
Let me show your age. He can sing.
Oh.
He can sing.
Oh.
He can sing.
He got some Dave Hollister going on.
I mean,
He
killing Dave really. I know I put a lot on it, but I mean it. I mean
Okay.
it. But yeah, we definitely got to add those on. So make sure we check out the playlist.
Okay.
Have y'all added the playlist?
No, but I feel bad. I feel bad.
Don't feel bad because I just put it up today. I'm sorry.
You definitely got to drop the link in the group chat.
Yeah, it wasn't up.
He don't respond to the group chat
I don't
as
respond
fast.
to the group chat. So
and see, I be the only one excited. I be like, "Hey guys, what
But
are we doing?"
The funny thing is, y'all will text me, and it's like I be in the middle of working on stuff, and I be like, "Man, I don't look, man, just wait."
Yeah.
But then I get
We're
in.
his pawns. He'll get to us when he gets to us.
Clearly.
You know,
Clearly.
they're beneath me.
You're October, baby, so of course.
No.
But no, definitely make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to check us out. Follow us on social medias. We got that. Facebook, Instagram. We are up on YouTube, Spotify, all the Apple Podcasts. All
We
that
up
stuff.
there. It's
We
up
all
there.
up there. It's up there.
Worldwide.
So
All the way up.
but definitely, man, we're gonna and make sure while you're there, you check out the pilot episode that we did the on MLK Day. We definitely want to make sure we check that out as well. I can't go without introducing my guy, Magic Mike, behind the production.
There
What up,
he
Mike?
is.
Right.
Mike.
Mike, where you at, man?
You guys. Appreciate you.
Oh,
guys.
there you go.
There
we heard his
he
voice.
is. Okay.
We heard his voice.
Okay.
But we gonna
turn it up.
You had to
Okay.
make sure he in zone out. Huh?
Yeah, I mean, because he be focused, man. He
I do have an honorable mention though. I do always listen to the cutoff from KOD by J. Cole. I just want to make that an honorable mention.
You be listening to Cole. You listen to Cole.
You know you were responsible for my Cole
I am.
addiction.
You know
so
what? Hey.
You're responsible.
You know.
Outside of those radio hits, you did kind of make me open up to Cole a
You
little
know.
bit. Outside of that, A Star Is Born, because I used to kind
Shout
of
out to Cole. He
I
gave
used
the
to-
platform.
I used to
There's a
I
Flow
used
So
to
Sick
slide,
thought he
I
was
used
the
to
rap
slide
form.
by that record
No,
on
sir.
that album.
There's a
Flow
verse.
Cole. There's a show. There's
There's a verse by Cole where he talks about generational curses like perfectly, like about the cycle. I forget the name of the song, but I'm gonna let you know pretty soon.
Yeah, we gotta add
it's
that to the playlist
It's a
too. Whatever.
single.
it is.
It's a single. It came out after Forest Hills Drive, but I forgot the name of the song though. But I'm gonna get you like ASAP.
And y'all watch find that video about Steve Harvey, so I won't be looking crazy after.
And homework, American
Drop
Sin.
it in the group chat.
We
I
gotta
will.
watch American Sin.
So we're gonna talk about that next time. So I have to watch it.
I mean, you ain't gotta watch it. We'll just pick on you, but I'm gonna definitely watch it.
And we'll pick on you because look,
I watch everything
don't
that
let
Nate
me
Parker's
watch
in.
it and you not watch it because
I watch everything that Nate Parker's in. I gotta watch, but
Yeah, I like it.
He don't get enough credit.
He doesn't. He doesn't.
Bruh.
He makes
He
amazing
was an
movies.
amazing actor.
That's
He's
because he
never-
got hit with that stuff, so people look kind of off and on about that.
True.
Okay.
But you want to add anything before we go, Sid?
In regards to what, make sure you enjoy your life, be happy,
Okay.
communicate,
Communicate.
stay knee deep in that, find your purpose.
Christoph, St. John.
I'm gonna encourage everybody to do the same thing, communicate, and if you haven't tried therapy, give it a chance.
Oh yes.
Oh, I'm not mad at that. Well,
check your work hotlines. They may have therapy numbers that you can call. Check your work hotlines.
You actually get
A lot
one
of
free
people
visit.
like-
On
You
your,
should.
on your insurance.
Yeah.
Got job insurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta use mine. But that's gonna wrap us for episode 2. No role models. It's been my 2 cents on generational curses. That's the outro.
Hey.
Don't spend it all in one place. Peace.
Yeah.